Right now, Wisconsin Democratic groups are co-hosting a candidate forum for the 1st Congressional District prior to the upcoming November elections. Hear directly from the candidates vying for a place in the House. Also, the beloved summer tradition of concerts on the square will be back before you know it. We share with you the lineup for this year's season. And Wisconsinites are putting the pieces together in today's solo speed puzzle extravaganza. Why it's more than just a competition. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. During a forum discussion earlier this afternoon in Janesville, Democrats running for the Congressional District 1 chair in the U.S. House of Representatives this upcoming November had the opportunity to address youth voters. Our Nash Dara has more.
Those Democratic candidates who spoke today were Randy Bryce, Lorenzo Santos,
what is happening over there is genocide,
and Miguel Aranda. Also in attendance was Susan Chandler, the Democratic board chair for Congressional District 1, who was very proud to see the organization of the event so young Wisconsinites could have their concerns voiced and heard.
I am so proud of these college students organizing this whole event, doing all of the planning. This is monumental. And to be right out of the gate in March, to be able to have these candidates early on, to talk to the audience, and then to have all the community people come and support the youth. I'm thrilled. This is like the best thing ever.
Questions came from students at UW-Whitewater, Beloit College, and Carthage College, which led to important debate over pertinent issues in Wisconsin and at a national level.
ICE was huge. Like, people want accountability for that. It's something really top of mind right now. In addition to that, things like FAFSA, financial aid, cost of college, like, it's really expensive, and we're just trying to make sure that the student voice is really heard in this forum and highlighted because it's gonna flip our seating. It's a huge base to have college students, and so we wanted to highlight that with our first forum.
Other questions addressed revolved around world conflict, specifically in Iran and Ukraine. Other notable points of discussion were artificial intelligence, cost of living, and foreign affairs.
I think it's tremendous to see the buy-in from the college students. I mean, overall, across the state, our action, when we are able to coordinate that effort, is impactful. I mean, that's the biggest difference of all.
Reporting in Janesville, Nash Dara, News 3 Now.
Nash, thank you. Susan Chandler also shared from now until the primary, they expect to have 3 more Congressional District 1 Democratic forums. But for the time being, let's go ahead and get a look at your first one forecast with Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington joining us. Alex, what should we expect as we head into the work week?
We're going to expect a warm up and a wet week. Right now, temperatures, this is going to be one of the times this week where I can say average, normal. Our current temperatures out there, this is what you would expect for the very beginning of March. Temperatures in the teens to the lower 20s. And as we move forward here, there we go, 40s as we go into Monday, lower 40s in some cases. That's a little bit above normal. That's starting a pattern of a warmer week with showers in the forecast too, Tuesday through Thursday. Even a couple of thunderstorms are a possibility as we head towards Friday. As temperatures get warm enough, we'll be more unstable, more of that instability for thunderstorm activity. And we need it because guess what? Some of you may not know this, but we have moderate drought conditions in southwest Wisconsin. We'll track some of those weather systems when I come back in a little bit, Jalen, and then we'll also talk a little bit more about how long this warm and wet pattern may last.
All right, sounds good, Alex. And as always, you can track the forecast on the First One weather app. It is hourly planners, road conditions, and even radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather. Now, if you use University Avenue to get through UW-Madison's West Campus during your commute, be aware that there's some lane reduction starting on Monday. Traffic is going down to 2 westbound lanes for the Hawthorne Court project. The lane closure starts at 7 a.m. from North Bassett Street by the James Apartments to North Lake Street. Metro bus routes are not expected to be impacted. The work will roll out in several phases and will eventually impact North Lake Street and West Dayton. And the city is hoping to make the Wilson Street area a bit more accessible by adding new public parking spaces there. 12 spots for public use are now available at the Wilson lot, located at 499 East Wilson Street. They'll be usable after 6 p.m. Monday through Friday all day and over the weekend. The time limit for the parking is just 3 hours. Be aware that the meters don't take cash or coins. You can only pay by card or by the phone. A beloved and long-standing Madison tradition is ramping up excitement for its return this summer. The Wisconsin Chamber Orchestra is releasing the lineup for Concerts on the Square 2026. And as always, every performance will be completely free. There's 6 weeks of concerts set each Wednesday beginning on June 24th. The first concert will be Joel and John, Piano Men Legends. On July 1st, United in Sound takes the stage, and on the 18th, Duo do Amor with strings. And on July 15th, it's Under Paris Skies. The 22nd, Holiday Hits. And to round out the season on the 29th will be Rhapsody Squared. All the performances begin at 7 p.m., but you can start setting up blankets on the square beginning at 3. There's also limited reserved seating for those with accessibility needs. You can also reserve a table for an additional price with a choice of catering options. Again, these concerts are completely free. A man is under arrest following a social media post he allegedly created that threatens both the Columbia County Sheriff's Office and a circuit court judge. Yesterday, authorities identified the man as being from the town of Caledonia. Recent contacts with the man led officials to believe his threats were credible. A search warrant was obtained to arrest the man for his threats. Detectives had previously tried to get him to come to the sheriff's office with no success. This morning, police pursued and then pulled him over for a traffic stop, wherein his behavior during his arrest resulted in a large response. A search warrant was then carried out at his house. Officials found a substantial number of firearms and ammunition there. The man is now awaiting appearance on charges including threatening to cause bodily harm to court-involved individuals and failure to obey an officer, among others. Officials are identifying 2 people in a crash in a North Chicago suburb as being from Stoughton right here in Wisconsin. Local officials were dispatched to a head-on crash on Illinois Route 173 in Wadsworth just before 8 Thursday morning. Their investigation showed a sedan traveling eastbound drifted into the path of an oncoming semi-truck. They collided head-on, and an additional minivan traveling east collided with the sedan. Following the initial crash, the driver and the passenger of the sedan died at the scene. On Friday, officials identified them as 51-year-old Kelly Wooten and 45-year-old Jacqueline Bradley, both from Stoughton. Preliminary autopsy results showed they both died from blunt force injuries as a result of the crash. An investigation will continue. The Wisconsin Jigsaw Puzzle Association invited puzzlers from around the state to Middleton for their solo speed puzzle extravaganza. Our Maya Tate has more on the event.
50 Wisconsin puzzlers made their way to the Wisconsin Jigsaw Puzzle Association's Speed Puzzle Extravaganza. And while for some it's just a competition, others it's a little more personal. Wisconsin Jigsaw Puzzle Association President Dakota Scully had always enjoyed puzzling with their family, and during COVID they began getting more competitive. The organization grew out of a Facebook group started by Scully with the hopes of creating another space for puzzlers in the state to come together.
It's a very niche community that is super supportive towards each other.
And that community is what pieces it all together. Hannah Wensing has been doing jigsaw puzzles with her mom since she was a little kid. And it wasn't until 2019 when the two found out they could do their hobby competitively. Now they aren't the only two in their family to do it.
It's a very family-oriented thing for me. One of the best things about getting to do it is I come with my family. My brother competes, my mom competes. My dad has very reluctantly competed on a couple of occasions.
Although all of that adds to the real reason they're all there.
For me, this is like doing a sport. Like I'm going to a game and I'm competing against people. Like my adrenaline spikes so much.
Even though the room can get competitive, that doesn't outshine the connections made between participants.
It's the only competitive event where I've ever seen everybody stop and clap for those who win while still competing.
What started as an idea in a Facebook group has turned into something much bigger. Now the organization puts on different swaps, socials, and competitions throughout the year. Reporting in Madison, Maya Tate, News 3 Now.
For more information on the association's events, you can check out their website at wijigsaw.org. And coming up next on News 3 Now at 10, Alex returns with a complete look of your first warn forecast. And we're continuing our coverage of the situation in Iran. We talked to individuals involved with the event so far, plus Instagram to alert parents to teens and self-harm searches. That and more after the break.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10. Moving forward.
In Washington, lawmakers are deeply divided over the strikes against Iran, some emphasizing that only Congress has the power to declare war. Before leaving for Florida today, President Trump said there will be no immediate end to the fighting. CBS's Willie James Inman has more on the president's comments.
America will avenge their deaths.
President Trump is speaking out after the deaths of 3 American service members during Operation Epic Fury.
Sadly, there will likely be more. Before it ends, that's the way it is. Likely be more, but we'll do everything possible where that won't be the case.
He defended the actions as right and necessary and said they would be ongoing.
Combat operations continue at this time in full force, and they will continue until all of our objectives are achieved.
On Face the Nation, Republican Senator Tom Cotton said he also expected strikes would continue, but said U.S. boots on the ground are unlikely.
The president has no plan for any kind of large-scale ground force inside of Iran.
Senior Trump administration officials told reporters on Saturday Iran intended to use ballistic missiles against the U.S. and its allies in the region. But Democratic lawmakers are demanding answers, questioning if Iran posed an immediate threat to the U.S. and why the president didn't get congressional authorization.
This is a disaster. It is illegal. And the president is obligated under the Constitution to come to Congress and ask for an authorization of military force.
Members of Congress are scheduled to receive briefings on the Iran operation this week.
We have had very little visibility into what happens next after the Supreme Leader is eliminated. I think we still don't know what is happening next.
Now, it's unclear if or when talks between the United States and Iran could restart. But over the weekend, President Trump posted on social media warning the nation against retaliation. Willie James Inman, CBS News, West Palm Beach, Florida.
OpenAI has come to terms on a deal with the Pentagon. The agreement calls for OpenAI to provide its intelligence technologies for the Defense Department's classified systems. Friday's announcements from the maker of ChatGPT came hours after President Donald Trump told federal agents to stop using AI capabilities from rival company Anthropic. Officials with the San Francisco company say it has come up with a method that will make sure its technologies will not be applied for domestic surveillance here in the U.S. Instagram is taking action to help prevent potential self-harm among children. The platform says it will notify parents if their children are found to have repeatedly looked for information related to suicide. In a statement, Instagram's owner Meta said these alerts are, quote, designed to give parents the information they need to support their teen. Users have to opt to be eligible for the alerts, which are expected to start next week in the U.S., Britain, Australia, and Canada. This comes as Meta's defending itself in trials where their platforms are alleged to have caused harm to young users. Instagram says its platform is not clinically addictive. In the deal for Warner Brothers Discovery, while Netflix originally planned to purchase the Warner Brothers half, including their studios and streaming, and Paramount to purchase the Discovery half, including CNN, Paramount now raised its offer for all of Warner Brothers Discovery to $31 a share. Netflix has dropped its $83 billion bid, declining to raise its offer. The co-CEO saying the deal is, quote, no longer financially attractive. This clears the way for a deal with Paramount Skydance. President Trump previously signaled support for Paramount. Last weekend, he publicly urged Netflix to remove board member Susan Rice, a former Obama advisor, or, quote, pay the consequences. Paramount attached several deal sweeteners appealing to the WBD board, including a $7 billion regulatory termination fee. Warner Brothers Discovery's assets include CNN, HBO, HGTV, while Paramount Skydance owns CBS News, Showtime, MTV, and Nickelodeon. A merger between the two companies would put CNN under the same roof as CBS, which has already seen significant editorial shifts under new Skydance ownership. If the company's takeover bid of Warner is successful, critics warn similar shifts could happen over at CNN. The FBI is investigating a possible terror attack in Austin, Texas. A gunman killed 2 people, and then police shot and killed the suspect. Later, officials searched his home, finding an Iranian flag and pictures of Iranian leaders. CBS's Jason Allen is in Austin with the latest details.
Video shows people taking cover inside a bar. as a gunman fired shots toward them from the window of an SUV. Then, police said he parked and got out with a rifle and started firing again. Within less than a minute, 3 police officers patrolling the busy entertainment district shot and killed the gunman. Paramedics immediately started trying to save the lives of the 19 people shot. 2 of them died. 3 more were in critical condition. Sources identified the shooter to CBS News as Ndiaga Diagne, a naturalized U.S. citizen originally from Senegal.
There were indicators that on the subject and in his vehicle that indicate potential nexus to terrorism.
The gunman was wearing a sweatshirt that said "Property of Allah" and had a Quran in his vehicle. Investigators searching his home north of Austin found an Iranian flag and pictures of Iranian leaders, according to officials close to the investigation.
This is what keeps the intelligence community up at night. Not people directly associated with terrorist groups, but people who become inspired because of things that are happening in the world.
Jason Allen, CBS News in Austin, Texas.
Now let's go ahead and get a look at your first one forecast. Alex, I see you've got the gold on. What's that signifying there, my friend?
Yes, the gold frames mean a warm-up day, and we got a warm-up day as we head here into Monday. Warmer than today, and we're going to stay warm throughout this entire week. I suppose I could sport the blue shades as well because we're going to have plenty of rain. I usually wear those frames when we've got rain in the forecast. And hopefully we don't have to get the red frames out this week. We are expecting some thunderstorms as we head towards Friday, and there will be some strong storms in the Midwest with that weather system. Now, we need the water, whether it's in the form of snow, some of us got that yesterday, or rain this week, and we've got moderate drought conditions. Surprisingly, on Facebook, I've been doing a little poll with our drought monitor and just curious if folks know if we're in drought or not. It'd be interesting if you check it out, meteorologist Alex Harrington, to see those results. We have moderate drought in southwest Wisconsin, and we really could use the water. And over the course of this week, we've got the threat, at least here, not the threat, we need this. We got the chance of adding up maybe an inch, maybe an inch and a half of water with multiple weather systems. And that track of that inch to 2 inches is going to modulate as each of these weather systems become more clear. I just want to emphasize that we have the potential for an inch of water, at least in southern Wisconsin. We're going to add a few drops and maybe some snowflakes by around midnight as we go into Tuesday morning. This is system number 1 here. Scattered showers, maybe a couple of wet snowflakes as we start Tuesday. That turns over to rain, and then those showers end as we go into Tuesday afternoon. But that's only weather system number 1 here. We have multiple weather systems that will last us Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and more as we go out into the following work week. Temperatures tonight where they should be in the upper teens. We'll do 18 in Madison, 17 to the north, and a little warmer to the south in the Wisconsin-Illinois border. There are those low 40s again that I had mentioned that we would be warmer on Monday compared to today on Sunday. Now follow the other line here. We have been all over the place with our temperatures. Look way in the left. That was that record high 64 back on February 16th. Today, we're right about where we should be, right around 30 to 35 degrees, and we'll stay fairly close to normal, but then we're going to bump right up into the above normal range by the end of the week and stay in that above to well above normal range as we go out into early next week. And that's how this shakes out with the temperatures and the rain. Good chances for rain really on and off every day this week. There will be some dry time too, but I'm seeing consistent showers and even thunderstorms in the forecast by Friday. And then again, another weather system next Monday and Tuesday, pretty consistent, showing good chance for showers and storms that Monday night going into Tuesday. And look at the lows too, Jalen. The lows well into the 30s to near 40 degrees. That means we're going to be melting all week. So that ground's going to thaw this week. We're going to get water in that ground as well. Lakes are going to be thawing out too as we warm up. It's the official meteorological start to spring. It's going to feel that way.
Can you believe that we're already in March though? No. I mean, again, we talked about this earlier. It feels like yesterday we were starting the new year, and now, I mean, we're going to be celebrating St. Patrick's Day here shortly.
That's true. It's straight around the corner.
All right. Well, sounds good. Thank you, Alex. And coming up in sports, the Bucks head down to the Windy City to take on the Bulls. Those highlights next on News 3 Now.
And now, News 3 Now Sports, brought to you by TDS.
UW women's basketball looking to get back into the win column today against the Iowa Hawkeyes. We go ahead and start in the first quarter. Badgers down 1, and Howard transfer Destiny Howell. She'll come around the screen. on the elbow and gets a jumper to go of her own. She would finish with a team high of 23. Later in the quarter, Howell directing traffic. Little pick and roll action. Pass gets tipped, but no problem for Howell. She gets it to go on the cleanup on the play, and then we skip to the fourth. Badgers still battling, but they just wouldn't be able to claw back into this one. Badgers fall to the Hawkeyes 81-52. And just 2 hours south of us, the Bucks without Giannis looking to keep their playoff hopes alive. Taking on the Chicago Bulls, we go ahead and we skip to the third quarter. Ryan Hollins drives this is it to Bobby Portis, and he gets the floater to go for two. Portis will lead the team with 18 points on the night. Later in the quarter, new Buck Cam Thomas drives with a slight hezzy and gets the and one bucket to extend the lead. The Bulls, however, would not stay down for long. They would go on a 27-0 run in the fourth, and that would seal the fate of the Giannis-less Bucks. The Bucks fall to the Bulls 97-120. And that's it for sports. The final check of your first one forecast is coming up when we return. The documentary epic Elvis Presley in Concert brought in $3.5 million for fifth place at the box office. The concert film, 21 Pilots, More Than We Ever Imagined, took fourth place, earning $4.3 million in fewer than 800 theaters. Wuthering Heights fell to third place on $7 million in ticket sales. GOAT lost the top spot but made $12 million for second place and a domestic total of $74 million. Scream 7, a beloved horror franchise installment, slashed its way to $64.1 million debut, the best opening in the franchise's 30-year history. I know that initial Scream movie that came out in the 90s changed the horror genre forever, so it's amazing to see that it's still going. I don't know if I'll check it out. I might have to if it was this successful this past weekend, though.
I'm laughing this whole time because we went to see Scream as a family.
As a family?
We did. It was late night. My sister and I were old enough to see it. And during one of the moments, my mom jumps up in this big, huge audience because it was packed. It was, and he's right behind you.
Just like in the movies themselves.
Exactly, yeah. All right, with the weather. This warm weather is not behind us. It's in front of us. Rain showers on and off this week, warming temperatures up to near 60 by Friday. And as we head out into the upcoming weekend, look at that Sunday, 59 degrees, no rain that day, but the start of next week will be mild with more showers and thunderstorms in the forecast.
All right, well, sounds good. Thank you, Alex. I know you guys will keep us updated, but thank you all for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Seinfeld is up next.